Hello, ECN family. Pastor Daniel here on this Maundy, Thursday, April 9th. Hope you all are having a great day and hope things are going well. It's a beautiful day outside and hopefully you've had a chance to be able to go outside and enjoy it. And if not, maybe sometime this afternoon. There's several things that I want to let you know about. One of those is our Easter Sunday service plans. We're going to be meeting in a platform known as Zoom. It's an application that's available. You can download that on your computer or on any of your tablet or devices, phones as well, and use that app. There is information that has been emailed out, and also there's information that's been posted on our social media outlets with Erin Church of Nazarene's Facebook page especially. So we'll be giving you a little bit of direction on that, but ultimately we'll start at 10 o'clock in the morning with a bit of music that morning provided by a couple or a few different people from within our church. And then at about 10:30, I will have a message, but I'm in that message going to be also guiding us through taking communion together. We'll need you at your home to be prepared to take communion and to have elements there to do that. You need to know in the Nazarene Church, we've oftentimes operated with a small gluten-free wafer of some sort and a small cup of juice, but anything at your home that can symbolize the body and blood of Christ will be more than sufficient. And so be sure and prepare those things, have them ready to go that Sunday morning. We'll be able to see each other in that application and be able to say hi and extend some greetings, but we'll be able to participate and take communion together as best we can during these times of virtual meetings anyway. I want to go ahead and start this morning by sharing a little bit of a story with you. I'm going to read a passage in John chapter 13 in a moment. Many of you know I've been preaching through the lectionary through this Lenten season, preparing for Easter, and the lectionary reading for Maundy Thursday is that John 13 passage, and I'll read that to you here in a minute. You're welcome to turn there if you'd like. I've been preaching now for a little over 20 years, and in those years, the first 6 or so were bivocationally in Nashville, Tennessee. My first full-time ministry position was in a town called Coleman, Alabama. If anybody of you are listening from Coleman, Alabama, great to see you all. Some incredible people down there. Had a great 4 years in ministry down there. Got to meet some really good people and have a great deal of fun. They also were there to support me in a lot of early ideas and enthusiastic attempts. Some of them went very, very well. Some of them failed miserably, and I appreciate that church for allowing me to do both. One of those things that we did that went very well, as a matter of fact, I recreated a couple of different times in different settings, was a sermon series that I did in the season of Lent in preparation for Easter. That series was one that we just called the Tombstone series. The premise of it was, what would our life look like? Or better yet, how would our life change if we knew exactly how many days we had left? For that application there in Coleman, I remember creating these styrofoam tombstones that were made out of a gray foam board and had the kids write their names on them and write their birthday. And then we started asking the question like, when do you think you'll die? Like, how many years do you think you'll have? Those sorts of things. And you've got students in there anywhere from 12 to 18 years old, and they're looking at anywhere between 60 and 90 more years. No telling how long they'd all live. But I started asking them the question, what changes when you know how many years you have left? What would be different in your plans for what to accomplish in life if you knew you only had 30 more years, or 20 more years, or 10 more years? What if you knew you only had 100 days? I mean, how does life change based on how many more days you have left on this earth? One of the questions that I ultimately ended with was, what if you knew you only had 36 more full days to live on this earth? See, if you follow the calendar from Ash Wednesday moving toward Easter, we believe that Jesus had somewhere around 36 full days. There are some partials in there based on when he may have met with his disciples. But if you knew you only had those many days, I wonder what would change about your life. And so as a bit of a challenge, each week we would come back and we would talk about, now that you only have 29 days left, now that you only have 22 days left, and we would continue to move forward. And what about our life would change if we knew we only had a small amount of time left? Well, one of the things that was a good visual aid for that event, that series, was I would ask the students to write that date in at the end of their life, as if they were no longer going to be on this earth on Good Friday preceding Easter. Very good conversation starter, very good for helping students think about how their lives change. It worked very, very well. Now, the only parts that didn't go well was, unfortunately, one of my favorite students down there is a guy named Austin York. Austin, if you're watching, man, hope you and the family are doing well. Austin is an incredible guy. As a matter of fact, Austin's one of the students that when I asked those students who felt called to go on a mission trip overseas, we went to a country called Burkina Faso. When I asked them to pray through that, Austin's response was that he didn't feel necessarily led to go to Burkina Faso, but he wanted to be involved in the trip and helping it go along. And so he participated in the fundraisers and he participated in all the work so that he could help his friends get there. Huge statement about the heart of who Austin is. Incredible, incredible guy. Well, unfortunately, in Austin's world, he had taken that tombstone, that little gray cardboard thing I talked about, had taken it home, and just like I instructed the students, they had left those on maybe on their mirror or in their bathroom to remind them on a daily basis, how would you live differently if you didn't have but a few more days left? I've had students many times before where I have them put a Post-it note on a mirror so that they see it, so that it reminds them on a daily basis. And so these small tombstones were created for that. The tragedy struck when Austin's mom, Miss Judy again, I'm sorry. Miss Judy walks into Austin's room, I'm told, on Good Friday, and she finds a tombstone that she had not really been talked about or told about. And the tombstone had her son's name and birthday and the day that he would pass away. And the day that she found it was the day that he had listed as the day he would pass away. And Austin was not at home at that point. What a horrible find for the mom. I've learned a lesson in that point. You really need to prep people before you have those type of visual aids. And so luckily at the next church, when I used that in a different setting, we prepared the parents and those sorts of things. Again, Miss Judy, I am sorry for any pain I caused you inadvertently. The process, though, of asking that question is a good one. What would change in your life if you knew you only had a certain amount of days left? What should you be doing with your time when you only have maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks or a few days? I mean, if we knew how many days we had left, our lives would probably change a great deal. I think it's important for us on a Maundy, Thursday to read the lectionary reading because it speaks to the nature of what Jesus was doing in those last days and really the day before the Passion of the Christ, as we talk about, began. I want to read to you John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. You're welcome to look this up. Hit pause if you'd like and you can read along, or you can listen as I read. John 13, it was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." Then Lord, Simon Peter replied, "Not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him. And that was why he said, not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example, that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." We read this passage about Jesus in the very last portions of his life. And it's amazing to me to compare it to a somewhat famous country music song. Jesus doesn't spend his last days skydiving or Rocky Mountain climbing or riding a bull named Fu Manchu. He spends his time serving people. He spends the last moments he has on this earth exemplifying what it means to be humble, what it means to be selfless, what it means to love your neighbor, what it means to serve your neighbor. You know, in a world that is so oftentimes talking about a bucket list, those adventures you want to go on, those things you want to see, the things you want to accomplish, I think it's important for us to be reminded that in the last moments of Jesus' life, he was using those to serve and to show others how to serve. It's a pretty good challenge for us, especially on Maundy Thursday when we remember these last moments in Jesus' life. I hope it speaks to you this afternoon. I hope you find yourself encouraged by that as well. And who knows, you may find somewhere this afternoon even that you could serve your neighbor, someone in your family, someone who you share life with. I hope you're having a great day. I hope things are going well in your world. Know that the ECN family is praying for you. We continue to pray for the plateau, that the increase in illnesses would eventually plateau so that we could see that decrease on the backside. We look forward to seeing you all, and we look forward to seeing you all Easter Sunday virtually. God bless, and we'll see you soon.